G'day there guys, it's Connie here again, and we are back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and also the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alrighty, let's get right into it. Okay folks, we're on True Off My Chest. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "My sister slept with my boyfriend, and I sent her a really cruel message that I don't regret at all. Sorry, but this post will have a lot of bad energy, and I'm terrible at writing in English, so if anyone is going to read the post, I'm sorry for all the grammatical errors that are likely to be in the post. So a few days ago, I, female 25, found out that my sister, 24, has been sleeping with my boyfriend, now ex, 25. We dated for 3 years. For 1 year, or probably more. They always had a close relationship, but I obviously took it as something innocent. I don't like video games, but my sister does, so they talked a lot by text, and I thought it was about games they like, until I found out that no, they talked a lot about their secret dates while I was working and in college. I found pictures, videos, and a lot of other disgusting things in the chats between my ex and my sister. My pathetic sister found pleasure in asking my pathetic ex all the time if she's smarter or prettier than me. She even compared our private parts. What the hell? We're both pretty. She's actually thinner and prettier than me, and even if she's an introvert, she has her group of friends, so I really don't understand where she got so much venom towards me. Our parents never compared us or anything like that, and she was always the one asking my ex to compare both of us in the chats. The first thing I did was throw all my ex-boyfriend's things out of the apartment. I insulted him in 1,000 ways, and I kept the PC that I gave him for Christmas. I didn't speak a single word to my sister for over a week, and she didn't contact me like the coward she is until yesterday when she sent me a message trying to justify herself by saying that it was a mistake. Yes, a mistake that lasted more than a year, and that I should forgive her because we're sisters and blah blah blah. At one point I thought, should I be the mature person in the situation who doesn't let resentment speak for her? But then I realized that I've never been that kind of person. I took my phone and wrote a long message to my sister that I would love to write here, but I'm sure that I would break the rules since I called her out in every possible way, and I wrote a lot of personal things too. I told her how much of a failure she is, and how she's always envied me, and that's why she needed to feel what it's like to be me for a second of her sad life. She sent me a voice message crying and saying that she's in a very weak moment mentally, but she's still with him, laughing my ass off. And I shouldn't make her feel worse and that she regrets it. I just reacted to her messages with the laughing emoji and didn't even hear the long voice message until the end. Was it a low thing to attack her with all her flaws? Yes, but it's lower to betray your sister and believe that she's going to forgive you just because you share blood with her. Honestly, I feel really good after sending that message and feel that it was therapeutic to take out everything I feel to give closure to that. By the way, I've never used a PC for gaming, but I'm looking for tutorials on YouTube about how to download The Sims. I helped my sister in every moment of her life. I literally fought for her when she was being bullied during high school. I helped her thousands of times to make friends. I even accompanied her everywhere she wanted. It's a betrayal that really hurts, and I'll never forgive. Never. It hurts me that she slept with someone I loved, but it hurts me a lot more of all the things I read in those chats. How she enjoyed watching him compare me to her, or how she asked him about personal things about our relationship just to laugh at it. She's dead to me, and my parents know it. I don't even care if I'm a bad person like them. This is something I can't forgive, and I don't even feel bad for my reaction." Yeah, and so OP shouldn't, really. I feel like this reaction's completely justified. Yeah, maybe down the line you can look back and say, maybe I wish I didn't say those things, but in the heat of the moment, no one can blame OP here. Let's go to some comments. "Sleeping with your boyfriend for 1 year is a betrayal with a purpose. Now that you've sent her a message, do yourself a favor and don't talk to her again. Indifference and moving on is a great revenge. At least your ex showed he was a piece of crap before you got married, so now you have the opportunity to find someone who actually appreciates you. Sounds like an upgrade if you ask me." OP replies, "To be honest, the relationship was already going bad in some ways, although that doesn't justify what he did, so I don't feel too bad breaking up. I took out the trash." "Good for you. Perpetrator only make themselves the victim when they want to. Please inform your parents of the event to not let her play victim more and throw you under the bus and back the bus to hit you more times. Opie replies, "Thanks, they already know everything. Neither of them are on her side and they respect that I want to cut off all contact with my sister. My parents are really strict, so I think they're going to cut contact with her too, but that's their decision. I don't want to get into that and cause problems." Once she started the relationship, maintained through time, and waited for you to discover instead of telling you, you were totally allowed to send that message and cut ties with her, and the same applies to him. For what you said, she has a problem of self-confidence and envy. She should go to therapy. You've dodged a bullet and got rid of a crappy sister. You'll find someone better. You deserve it. Opie comments on her parents' reaction. "Well, my mother was disgusted and my father was angry, but they only comforted me until I left their house. I don't know what they talked to my sister about afterwards, and I don't want to ask, but they'll probably cut contact with her. She just said that it was a mistake, and in the voice message she only talked about how weak she feels mentally, and that she's been having anxiety attacks, even though I didn't hear the full audio because it lasts for more than 4 minutes and I was getting even more ticked off with her just wanting to be the victim, so I stopped the audio almost in the end. She never explained why she said all those ugly things about me, because everything was about her having anxiety attacks." Okay, Opie makes an edit explaining the message that was sent. "Thank you for all the nice comments you left me. Many wrote to me with tips for The Sims, and I'm really grateful. Thanks for the game recommendations, even though I'm really bad at playing action games. The last action game I played was Resident Evil 4 on the PS2 a long time ago, and it was because I had a crush with Leon Kennedy. He would never cheat on me, by the way. As a token of appreciation, and because I also like it when the OP uploads the whole gossip, I'll put here half of the message I sent to my sister. The message I sent her was really long, and I cut out the parts where I talk about very private things or when I insulted her to not make the post too uncomfortable, because I was really hurt and angry at that moment, and I talked about many personal things in the text. I will put the copy of the message in the end if someone talks Spanish. I'm sorry if it sounds weird in English. I did my best to translate it, and I had to remove a lot of parts. It says, "I'm not interested in hearing any of your excuses. I believed you when a problem she had with her ex-friend group happened, because I really trusted that you would never do something like that, but now I understand why everyone leaves you alone, and you deserve it. What you did to me is crap, and you know it, but you didn't care, because you spent a year being the tramp of my ex without any shame. And now that I found out everything, you went days without talking to me because you're a coward. And on top of that, you still don't care about what you did to me. You're only talking to me because Dad probably stopped talking to you and you're running out of money. So you want to fix this crap so he gives you money again. You were always an a-hole, but you don't think it's a lot to be my boyfriend's second woman? How little respect do you have for yourself? We're sisters. I don't even know what's going on in your head because I don't understand what's wrong with you. Girl, I read all the messages between you, and you even started comparing our bodies. You're sick. You know that I never did anything for you to do this to me, and I loved you, but everything turned out really well for you because he's with you, so enjoy that feeling and the love you two have for each other for now, because you're going to be really lonely later, and you're going to go back to your cave. But this time, I'm not going to be there to pity you like every time I did before. Stay with him. There's nothing that interests me less than fighting for an idiot who is surely going to leave you, but let me make it clear to you that you're not going to hear about me again. This dies here. We are not sisters anymore. If I see you on the street, then I'm going to cross to the opposite sidewalk to not see you." Whew, yeah, that's a brutal message, but totally understandable. Okay, Opie makes an update. They broke up. Nobody's surprised. When all of this happened, my parents scolded my sister, and she got offended and didn't speak to our parents except to ask them for money. She asked them for money to buy things for her career, but then my aunt told my parents that my sister actually used that money to buy my ex some sneakers. My parents never gave her any money from that day on. She's an idiot, to be honest. My parents started to pay for us to go to a private college, and the only thing we have to do is literally study. The only thing she had to do was take her studies seriously, but she didn't, so my father got tired and hasn't sent her money for months. My ex discovered the post because he said it went viral on Facebook, and obviously he recognized the story. He contacted me to apologize and said he knows he did wrong by hurting me like that, but my sister, quote, manipulated him and it was a total mistake. I told him he can shove his apologies in his ass. Meanwhile, my sister and I have only crossed paths a few times, but she always avoids me because she thinks I'm going to hit her. I won't. We're not going to the same career, so luckily we don't see each other too much. Anyway, a few days ago she went to our parents' house saying that she broke up with my ex, I don't know why, and that she felt really sad and had an anxiety attack. I don't know exactly what they talked about since I wasn't there, but my mother told me that she told my sister that she knew what was going to happen when she slept with him, and my sister justified herself by saying that they're in love, so my mother and her just argued again and my sister left. Now she doesn't talk to anyone in the family except our grandmother to ask for money. I know my sister is not going to change her bad habits, and she didn't learn anything from this. I even think she'll get together with my ex again because they're just toxic with each other, but it's her life to ruin, not mine, and I don't care anymore. The bright side, I sold the PC to a guy from Reddit that saw my post, and that really saved me from having to keep paying the dues. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play The Sims much, but I prefer the extra money. My ex had told me that he wanted the PC back, but I told him that he should pay the remaining dues, and he said no, so the idiot wanted the PC for free even though he slept with my sister. I know it's a boring update, and probably everyone wanted that the update was my sister begging for forgiveness and my ex suffering, but no, they're just two idiots who deserve each other and nothing more happened. But even today I received a message asking me for an update, haha. Opie comments on if she forgives her sister and her boyfriend. I'm going to go ahead and not forgive them. I can do both at the same time. And no, I don't forgive my sister, and I don't want her to forget this, and I don't want to see her again. In a few years I'll remember these two idiots and laugh, but that doesn't mean they deserve my forgiveness. Okay, now Opie makes a new update 3 months later. Hi, it's been a while since my last update, but some things have happened. First of all, almost 1 month ago my sister talked to me from another number to tell me that her friend saw my post on video on Facebook. Apparently it's even translated into Spanish. For the first time we spoke again, she made a big fuss saying that I didn't even change our ages or data, so her friend obviously acknowledged that I was talking about her, since I didn't even hide my nationality. I told her that I wasn't interested about it, and she should be thankful that I didn't post it on my own Facebook. She told me I'm a POS, and I portrayed her as a tramp, but honestly I don't regret it. No one here knows her face, and I'm the one who looks like a cuckold in front of everyone. She started pressuring me to delete the posts, but I told her that it doesn't make sense anymore because it's everywhere, so I just blocked that number too. A few weeks after I made my last post, they came back, but now they're not back together anymore. Acquaintances in common that I have with both of them usually tell me that they cheat on each other all the time, or maybe they have an open relationship, I don't know, but they're always seen with other people in clubs. I'm not really interested in it since I avoid going to the same clubs as them. It's really annoying because my sister used to not go to clubs, but now she started to go to the same ones I always used to go to. She had always criticized me for going to those environments. At this exact moment, they are not together, and my ex has been looking for excuses to see me, like returning clothes that I forgot at his house, which I don't need. That's why I was not interested in going to look for them. So one day he came to my apartment unannounced to bring me my clothes, and I had no choice but to let him in, and we slept together. Just kidding, haha. I just let him into my apartment to leave the clothes. I should talk to the manager to tell him that he's no longer allowed to have free access to my door, and it was very uncomfortable because he reminded me all the time that he's no longer with my sister and that I am a great woman. I told him that I know I'm great, but I'm not interested in hearing about his relationship with my sister. I love gossip though, and I just invited him to leave my place. He even tried to kiss me on the cheek before leaving. Yikes. Meanwhile, my parents don't know what to do with my sister anymore because she's even stopped going to college, although she's never really paid much attention to her studies, and they're tired of spending money if she doesn't make an effort. They've warned her that if she continues like this, they'll stop paying for her university, but from what my mother said, my sister does not care, and she really believes that my parents will at some point give her money again to fulfill her whims. I really hope right now that she doesn't get pregnant, but I'm even afraid she'll do that so my parents can support her again. And about me, I feel much better, except for the fact that I don't go to my favourite club anymore. I'm very well emotionally, and I've already reached a point where I hear their crap show as if it was something foreign to me, and I was just watching two crazy clowns. Yeah, and that's a pretty good space to be in after all of this drama. I gotta say, I almost had a heart attack when she said she slept with her ex when he showed up, but it was just a joke, thank God. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this one. Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, let's move on to another story. Okay, we're jumping over to Am I the A-hole? This one was written by user Even Breath, and it's titled, Am I the A-hole for moving out after my mum announced her pregnancy? I'm 22 female, my mum is 37, and I have 3 younger siblings, female 14, female 7, and male 4. Me and the 2 oldest have different dads from each other and the other 2. They and this upcoming baby all have the same dad, our stepdad. I'm sorry if that was confusing. There are 3 dads in total, but only our stepdad is involved now. I was the babysitter and quote-unquote mum growing up. When my sister was born, I magically became mum, despite not even being double digits. When the others came, I still was mum. I didn't get to have fun, go out, or be a kid. My job in the house was to cook, clean, raise my siblings, and deal with our mum. She was incredibly immature growing up, and loved to drink, party, spend money on luxuries, and not be a mum. She acts more like a mum now, but a lot of the work still falls on me. She robbed me of my childhood, and I'm very bitter about it. The only reason I lived at home for so long was because no one would or could take me in, and I felt that I could tolerate it all for free rent and food. It was a good deal for me then, but I'm 22 now. I'm done being a mum when I don't even have kids. Last year, my stepdad's parents died in a car accident, and as their only child, he got everything. We all moved into their home and got a bit of money under our belts, so I guess they decided to have a baby. When my mum announced it, I asked if she was serious. She confirmed and asked me if I still had my diaper changing skills as a joke. I was silently livid. I dryly laughed and found some roommates online that night. The thought of wasting another 10 plus years raising my siblings sounded like hell. She found out that I'm planning on leaving come August, and now she's irate, calling me every name under the sun and selfish. She got my siblings involved, and the youngest is crying, asking why I don't love them anymore and why I'm leaving. It's really low to use kids like that, and it hurts. I don't want to stay, but I don't want them to cry. I know I'm doing the right thing for myself, but is it the right thing for them? My mum never really parented them growing up. She wouldn't, so I took over that role. I was the one who changed diapers and taught them their ABCs and all of that. I was the one who cooked dinner and bathed them. I looked at none of my siblings as siblings, but as my own kids, because that's what they basically are. I don't think she'll be able to do a good job. She and my stepdad rely on me heavily in that category. Am I the a-hole for leaving? I need advice on how to get over this feeling and move on. Oh man, yeah, that's hard. I mean, regardless of what you think might happen, I think Opie needs to get out of there anyway. Let's see what the comments think. Run away, reclaim your youth. Run and don't look back. You have been saddled with your mother's responsibilities for at least 12 years. You were robbed of your childhood, and your mother never grew up or stepped up. Her current behaviour and reaction to the news of your pending relocation tells you all that you need to know. Get out now. She can raise her own kids. Maybe try and explain to your siblings that their mother is inappropriately manipulating them and that this isn't your fault, but you have to go. You have your own life to live. You are far too young to be raising up children that are not yours. This future child is not your responsibility, period. Mum needs to come to terms with that, but her understanding is not a requirement to reclaim your life. Get out quickly and safely. Make sure you have your important documents. Make sure your bank accounts are only in your name and that she does not have access, and get online and lock down your social security number so mum cannot open up any accounts in your name and screw with your credit. Not the a-hole. These are not your kids. You do love them and should tell them that every chance you get, and tell them that wanting to be an independent adult doesn't mean you love them less. Your mother had you at 15 years old and her parentification of you started when you were 8 years old. This has been going on for 14 years, and yes, you were right. It's time she does the work herself. She chose to have children, and along with her current husband, and they are more than capable of caring for all of their children. You owe her nothing, and you deserve to have your own life and happiness. She spent years on living her best life and spending money on herself instead of taking care of her children by being a present parent. She forced you into the role of mother and placed these responsibilities on an 8-year-old little girl. This is abuse of you and your siblings. You don't need to live there or babysit to have a relationship with your siblings. Don't let her manipulate you into babysitting. She's not used to being told no by you, and it's going to be good for her to hear your no every time you say it. You should be adulting, child-free, and doing all the things you haven't done before. Good luck, not the a-hole. Opie edits the next day. Holy crap, this kinda blew up when I wasn't expecting it to. Thanks everyone for the kind messages. You all are right, I need to go. My mum and stepdad need to figure it out. I'm going to talk to all 3 of my siblings and explain that me leaving is normal and a good thing. I'll always be a phone call away. I'm most worried about my 14-year-old sister though, and will not hesitate to get authorities involved if I suspect she's going through what I went through, or she tells me herself. I'll be giving her a different type of talk soon to try and prevent her from becoming the new mum. Thanks everyone. If I update again, it'll be after I've already moved out. I really appreciate your guys' support. It's giving me the strength to do what's right, even if it's hurting. My mum and stepdad can hire a babysitter with his inheritance if they really can't do it. And some more comments. No, leave now. It's getting way manipulative and your mum seems like the queen of making poor choices as it is. Like Jesus, run for your life, remain in contact with your siblings, but it's not your obligation to be a mother to your mum's kids. Opie replies, I agree with her being the queen of bad decisions. When I was born, I could excuse it because she was so young and needed guidance. My grandparents, her parents, were permissive and let her do whatever she wanted with little to no consequences. It was really fun when I was a kid because, well, no rules. I moved a lot growing up into her boyfriend's houses and stayed with her friends frequently when she went out to party. Eventually, as you might expect, I learned that that wasn't fun and that I wanted my mum. I would cry and she'd push me aside because she just didn't want to be a parent. She's doing a lot more now, like I said in my post, but it's obvious she has no idea what kids are really like. She sees them sort of as decoration because they were always shoved at me. She knows she's going to have a world of hell waiting for her once I'm gone. Another comment says, you tell the kids, I love you in my heart no matter what, always, and you leave because you deserve a life that is not being a domestic servant to your mother's failed birth control philosophy. You being parentified at such a young age is a form of abuse. Sit down with your 14-year-old sister and explain what happened to you, and that she can't let it happen to her. Your mum will come after her next. It would be a very good idea to get a therapist to help you reframe exactly how badly you've been treated and why you need to leave. You can't help the other kids really until you help yourself first. Opie replies, I thought about my sister a lot as well, which is what makes this so hard. I took the brunt of everything so she wouldn't have to. I wanted her to be a kid. 14 is way too early to be a parent, and I know that's what will happen to her. I know that she'll just do what she's told, and she's responsible enough to realize when things aren't working, and she'll try to fix them herself and fall into that trap. I don't know how to have that conversation with her without my household exploding, but I know that it needs to be done. My 2 little siblings have just been crying and crying, thinking that I'm never coming back, even though I tell them that I'll come visit. My mum keeps telling them that I'm never coming back and abandoning the family. Yeah, not surprising that the mum's alienating the other kids away from OP here. It's just tragic. Okay, OP makes an update almost a month later. Hello everyone, I just want to say thank you again for your kind words and encouragement. You have no idea what they meant to me. I moved out and everything is going fine. My mum and stepdad blocked me, but my 14-year-old sister is so far doing fine. I talked to all of my siblings individually, but it was rough in more ways than one. I had an explosive argument with my mum the day I left, but that was to be expected. She said nothing new. She called me selfish, a brat, a terrible daughter, and said that she wished she'd aborted me, nothing I haven't heard before. About a week or so before I moved out, I stopped doing most of the things I did before. My parents freaked out, and we had a lot of arguments, but I'm happy it's over with. Every time they saw me, a comment was said, either to my face or under their breath. My mum would act like I was invisible and talk crap about me to whoever was around. She filled my siblings' heads up with bullcrap, and I was incredibly stressed about it. I actually considered staying at that point. I was very close to just staying home, which I know will disappoint you all, but I almost did. This wasn't an easy transition for my siblings, and they're small. It hurt so bad watching them get wrapped up in all of this. My parents had no idea how to do anything for some reason. They had no patience and couldn't get the kids to listen to them. I know they didn't have much experience in childcare, but they were acting brand new. I had a really hard time watching them struggle and watching my siblings suffer because of it. I felt freaking horrible and like I was neglecting them. School is also coming up very soon, and I used to always get them together, so that's going to be an upcoming problem. I'm happy that I won't be around for that, but I'm sad that I won't be. My little brother will be a kindergartner, and my sister will be a freshman in high school. Those are huge milestones I wanted to be around for. But on the bright side, my sister is playing the incompetence card all on her own, and I love her for it. After our conversation about not turning out like me, she told me she'll pretend not to know how until Mum stops asking her, which hasn't happened yet. Apparently Mum asked her to cook, wash the kids, get them dressed, etc. Little gateway things that will spiral into her being the new mum. I'm proud of her for sticking to her plan for the few weeks that she has. She's a lot stronger than I thought she was. I really thought that I'd have to drill it into her to not do anything, but she's doing a lot better than expected. I just hope she doesn't crumble under the pressure. I know it's hard. In order to visit, I have to be welcomed back into the house, but that isn't going well since I'm blocked. I don't want my sister being the middleman, even though she's already trying. I want to see everyone, but without permission, there's nothing I can do. And if anyone cares about my new move, my roommates are great. We played Monopoly our first night all settled in, and it was a great bonding experience, and they're very clean people. It seems so small, but holy crap, it's amazing. I'm loving my current arrangement and hoping it lasts. So yeah, I'm doing fine. My sister didn't take over my job, and I hope she never does, and my parents are losing their minds as expected. I can see their marriage falling apart in the future too. They can figure it all out and raise this one start to finish. Part of me is still feeling incredibly guilty for leaving, and I sometimes regret it, but my newfound freedom feels so good, and I'm reminded of why I left. I'm going to a bar later tonight with my roommates for the first time in my life to let loose and have fun. It feels so weird to say, but I feel like a teenager. Everything is so exciting and feels a bit illegal, like I'm out way past curfew. So thank you again, everyone. I don't think I'd actually have moved out without your guys' words. Even though I found roommates, I don't think I could have left on my own. I wouldn't have committed and probably just stayed home. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. It really helped me make a decision when I thought about disappointing you guys. I've never met any of you, but having a cheerleader and knowing that so many of you saw my post and wrote me a kind message really helped. I couldn't be more grateful and excited to live my life. I thought it would be a great time to update since I'm going out tonight to have some fun. Someday all the guilt will be gone and I'll patch up my relationship with everyone. I still want to have a relationship with my mum someday, if she'll change and allow it. As much as I say I hate her, I still sort of love her. She's still my mum. But until then, bye everyone. Thank you all so much. Okay folks, and that's the end of that story. Yeah, great ending for OP here. I'm glad that she got out and, is able to live her life now. Let's read some final comments. People need to stop having children on the assumption that their other children will be providing them with free childcare. Opie's parents are selfish, and it's amazing that Opie actually took the steps to remove herself from the situation. The 14-year-old is using weaponized incompetence for good. I approve. Why have kids if you don't like them enough to raise them yourself? I don't get it. because you want the love and appreciation and martyrdom that comes with it, but not the work. People like Opie's mum want to seem like good people, hard-working mother bears, but truly don't want to put in the work. Yeah, and it's all too sad to see. Alright guys, give me your thoughts about that one down below, and we'll move on to another story. Okay, we're staying with Am I the A-hole? This one was written by user Beginning Date, and it's titled, Am I the A-hole for rejecting the worst name ever for our offspring? So, my husband, 38, and I, 36, are expecting our first child, a bouncing baby girl due in a few months. We were both over the moon when we found out the gender, but now things have gotten complicated, to say the least. See, when we first started talking about names, the boy name was immediately decided, Stuart Jr., after my husband. No problem there. It's a classic name and carries family meaning. But for a girl, things got murky. My husband suggested Stuarter. No, you're not having a stroke. Apparently his logic is that since Stuart ends in T, we can just add an A to make it feminine. I tried explaining why that doesn't quite work, how it sounds more like a furniture brand than a human name, and how she'd be endlessly correcting people and explaining its origin. He's adamant, though, says it honours him while giving our daughter a unique name. I've suggested alternatives, feminine names that maybe share a similar sound or meaning to Stuart, names he's mentioned liking in the past, even just going back to the drawing board entirely, but he's fixated on Stuarter, or Stuarter, I don't know how to pronounce it. Now, I love my husband dearly, and I understand wanting to honour family, but I can't imagine subjecting our daughter to a lifetime of awkward stares and endless questions about her unusual name. I also worry about potential bullying and the impact it could have on her self-esteem. So Reddit, am I the jerk for refusing to budge on Stuarter? Is there any compromise I haven't considered? Help a soon-to-be mama out. Yeah, definitely not the a-hole. I mean, that's got to be one of the dumbest names I've ever heard. Also a bit selfish about how he wants to be honoured but doesn't really care about what you think. Let's go to the comments. Not the a-hole. Naming a child is a 2 yes and 1 no situation. Means you need 2 times yes for a name to be it, and 1 no to make sure that name is not the name you choose. Works both ways if you'd ask me. Also, I'm not a fan of naming the first name of a child after a parent, because then the child will always be compared to their parents and need to fight harder to be their own person. I have less problems with the middle name being connected to someone else, parents or grandparents, because that's only a formal name and not used in everyday business. Why is he dead set on Stuarter? I mean, there are so many beautiful names, but he only wants to name his daughter after him? Why not after the mother, like your name, Junior? It's a bit misogynistic to only want to name the baby after the father. Whose last name will the baby get? His as well? Maybe you could find a way, like name the baby with the same first letter as your husband, Stella, Sally, San, etc. Make sure the baby has a middle name, if she shares the same last name as her father, because it will be annoying for simple things like mail and stuff. Not the a-hole. Tell him he only gets 1 kid named after him, so if he goes with Stuarter now, he'll never get Stuart Jr. And how come it's so important that he be honoured but not you? See how he feels about naming a future son a male version of your name. Remind him that baby names need a yes from both parents or it's a no. You both need to be able to live with whatever you go with, even if that means both of you missing out on the one you want most. Not the a-hole. Stuarter sounds like a pharmaceutical product. I can hear the commercials now. In some cases, Stuarter can cause headaches, rashes, and even death. It doesn't have a decent nickname, and no, adding an A doesn't make it feminine in all cases. This is one of them. I'd go for Stuart as a middle name. Yeah, to be honest, even Stuart as a name is a bit, I don't know, hope I didn't offend any Stuarts out there. Okay, on to an update. First, the good news. We have a beautiful, healthy baby girl. She weighed in at 7 pounds 4 ounces and already has the most incredible head of dark hair. Seriously, where did that come from? Labour was a marathon, not a sprint. 18 hours of fun, but the amazing nurses kept me fueled up on iced chips and cheesy encouragement. Now for the not so good news, the name situation. Buckle up, because this might take a minute. Right before pushing started, things got a little heated between me and Stuart. Apparently, the stress of contractions made him even more attached to Stuarter. He was pacing the room, muttering about family legacy, while I was doing some very impressive Lamaze breathing exercises. Suddenly, my water broke with a rather impressive pop. Let's just say it startled everyone in the room, including Stuart. The nurse, bless her heart, took advantage of the distraction and very calmly started prepping for delivery. Everything after that was a blur of pushing, encouraging words, and the most amazing head of dark hair emerging into the world. The second our daughter was out, screaming her little lungs out, a wave of pure, primal love washed over me. It was in that moment, staring at this tiny, perfect human being, that the name debate completely evaporated. There was no way I could call this beautiful little girl Stuarter. So, what did we end up with? In the haze of postpartum bliss, I blurted out the first name that popped into my head, the name of the incredible nurse who'd coached me through labour. Ella. Yes, Ella. Not exactly the most adventurous choice, but in that moment it felt perfect. Strong, steady, kind, just like the woman who'd helped bring our daughter into the world. Stuart, bless his confused heart, just looked at me, then at our daughter, then back at me again. Finally, he let out a shaky laugh and said, "Ella it is." Thanks for all the support and hilarious Stuarter comparisons. Here's to sleepless nights, endless diaper changes, and the incredible journey of parenthood. There you go, guys. What a great ending, and Ella is a great name as well. I'm glad that they were able to sort it out, even if it was in the delivery room. Let's read some final comments. If it's a girl, Phoebe. If it's a boy, Phoebo. I'd still take Stuarter over Annalie. If you know, you know. Imagine needing your child to be named after you badly. You think anything even remotely resembling Stuarter is a good idea. Yeah, 100%. Also, I don't know, I've been saying Stuarter, could be like Stuarter or something like that. Even so, it still sounds pretty stupid. Anyway, what do you guys think about that one? Let me know down below. Rightio, let's move on. Okay folks, we're jumping over to Petty Revenge. This one was written by a now deleted account, and it's titled, I Got Revenge on My Bully. In school, I was relentlessly bullied. Two girls in particular had it out for me. I was shy, loved to read, didn't do the popular stuff, so I was the perfect victim. They'd literally torture me by holding me down in the staircase when we were alone and sticking pinboard pins into my arms, legs and feet. When I tried to tell teachers, they said I fell onto them as they were lying on the floor, or I did it myself. It didn't help that one of them was the daughter of one of the teachers at the school. Well, I finally got my revenge. I went to try out a new ice cream shop, and lo and behold, one of the girls was serving ice cream. I have multiple allergies, including milk and gluten, of which the ice cream shop claimed to be cautious. So I ordered gluten and dairy-free ice cream and set my phone camera up to film the area where the ice cream was prepared, because I saw that the girl had recognized me and was certain she'd try something. And she did. I caught her on camera putting a spoonful of milk in the bottom of the bowl and crumbling the gluten-consisting wafers over everything, then camouflaging it with the last scoop of ice cream. She put it down in front of me and said, "I hope you enjoy it." I sweetly smiled at her and asked if she could get the owner of the shop, because I wanted to thank her for being so welcoming to guests with allergies. You can guess what happened next. I showed the owner the video and told her that I'd like to press charges, because in my country it is considered a criminal offence called inflicting bodily harm to serve someone an allergen when you know the person is allergic. The bully will never work anywhere where she'll come in contact with food again, and she'll have this on her criminal record for years. Wow, I mean, yeah, and so she should. Allergies are no joke. I mean, I think we've read about peanut allergies on here before, which are very extreme, but, milk and gluten can be just as bad in some cases. So yeah, I'll never understand why people would think it's funny to, serve someone an allergen. In some cases, that's just straight up attempted murder. Not very funny to me. Let's read some comments. They do say revenge is a dish best served cold. This is actually an epic revenge. Awesome way to teach her a lesson. Good job. Good for you. This isn't petty. It was doing what you needed to protect yourself. I'm sorry these girls were so awful to you, and I hope they're no longer in your life. Ah yes, the smell of sweet, sweet revenge. But their actions are so effed up, you should definitely proceed with legal actions. I really do wonder what her thought process or goal was when she did this. Did she not really consider the potential outcomes of her actions and the fact it could have ended up with OP needing hospital treatment, or worst case, death? How does one person hear allergy and think it's completely fine to feed someone said allergy just because they don't like them? I dread to think of the brain cell count in that person. I know I was the same as OP in school and at one point had bullies pinning me against a wall. Thankfully, a teacher came across the situation before they could do anything, so they ran off after one punched me. The thing is, they went to the next lesson which they shared with me as if nothing happened. Even if I didn't tell the teacher anything, they still saw stuff which was enough. I honestly believe bullies' brains never evolved past the cave person stage. Yeah, probably a fair shout, all things considered. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.